What's going on, Becca?
All right, so I used your formula, Ken. It was a great formula, and I hashed out, I think, what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yay!
My 10 or possibly my 20-year plan is to be a consultant for the restaurant industry, particularly small businesses.
Okay.
Maybe have 1 or 2 storefronts.
Love it.
And I have, I think my next step to get there is to become a manager of a restaurant, particularly some sort of a coffee shop. That's just kind of my passion is coffee.
Love it.
My question for you, Ken, is I have 7 years of experience in my past working as a waitress and a chef, and virtually everything but a bartender and a manager. Do I have enough experience right now? I was also a business owner for 1.5 years. Of not a restaurant. I owned a daycare. Okay. Do I have enough experience right now to go into a shop and say, hire me as a manager? This is my experience.
Without question.
Should I put my toe back in the water?
Without question. Without question, you are qualified to manage a restaurant. Not even close.
Okay.
You ran a business. You ran a daycare. That means you had to deal with profit and loss. You had to deal with hiring people. You had to deal with customers. You had to pay the bills. You are overqualified to be a manager of a restaurant.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Listen, I love that you've been a waitress. I love that. I love that you've been a chef. I think the best manager of a restaurant is somebody who is either filled all those roles, or when they go in, they decide to become best friends with somebody or multiple people in every function of the restaurant. And to the end that you haven't done bartending, if you go manage a restaurant, I want you in slow hours or behind, after the hours, after the doors are closed, I want you to learn from the bartender. It's not just learning how to make drinks, although I think that's valuable. I think you're learning what makes you really love what you do. See, that's going to make you a great manager because you're going to have to hire bartenders. And so if you can hear from the bartenders who really love it or what they love, what they don't love, and you become an expert on every position from the busboy to the chef, it's going to make you a great manager. And I got to give you massive props. Your head is so on straight right now. I'm bursting with pride. Let me tell you why. I would never hire a consultant to my restaurant if you hadn't run a restaurant. And so that is, you are thinking properly. You become a great manager. I mean, great. And you build consulting gigs while you're still managing. You could handle that 1 or 2. That's how I would launch the consulting business, is while I'm still managing a winning restaurant. I absolutely love where you're going. Absolutely love it. And I'm going to tell you one other thing I want you to think about for the future, okay? Well, first of all, I want you to think about it in the short-term future and the long-term. Short-term future is when you become a manager of a restaurant, because you're going to be. I want you to be paying attention to what the coronavirus has put a glaring light on. And you need to do the research on this, because I'm not an expert on these numbers, but I've heard this, so I'm close enough. I think the average restaurant, or it's a norm, if you will, in the restaurant industry to operate on like 18 to 20 days worth of cash.
Okay.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
definitely
why many restaurants won't come back from this deal. I'm talking high-end restaurants won't come back. Now, here's the deal. It's a low-margin business. So there are some factors at play as to why a lot of restaurants run on such a short amount of cash. So if they have an interruption in customers, they're in trouble. Okay? And I understand this is a wacky crisis that is just hopefully 1 in 100 years, okay? However, it should teach you something as a manager. If you're working for an owner or a proprietor, there's nothing different between the restaurant business and any other business that is low margin. You got to save money. And so to the extent that you can run a restaurant that has 60 to 90 days operating cash, that's a game changer. And I think you can stand out in this field as a manager and as a consultant. And that's what will make you special, is if you can show future restaurant owners how they can take retained earnings, is what we call it here at Ramsey Solutions, and stock it away so that your restaurant, which is driven on a consumer being confident enough to walk into your doors, you're in the service industry, and it is totally reliant on customers being confident. And when consumer confidence drops, what does that mean for your restaurant? And I think if you have a 60 to 90 day amount of cash, it would put you in a much better situation. So there you go. There's a little nerding out, a little free content for you that I think could make you really special.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Ken. I appreciate it. You really boosted my confidence.
Well, you got what it takes. I'm telling you. And if I ever get to Frederick, Maryland, I want you to email me once you land in a restaurant. Email Madison and tell her where you landed, and I'm expecting free appetizers for that stellar advice.
All right. I'll put you. I'll add it to your tab.
I can be bought. I can tell you that.